Church family, we just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on at the church this summer and how things are going to proceed, and kind of bring you into the loop on some scheduling changes as we continue to get more information on when things are going to be reopened and how things are going to move forward. So far everything is still the same, that we're looking at our limitation of 25 people through the 31st of May, which means that for now, through the end of the month, we're going to continue the same course of action, which is still doing our online worship service at 10:40 on Sunday, which will be broadcast on YouTube and on Facebook, still doing our Zoom life groups. But now, if your life group wants to meet here at church, our building is available. JT has a schedule set up for you guys to do that here. If there's another Bible study you're a part of, I know there was talk of a women's Bible study perhaps getting together. Any of those Bible studies we are glad to host here at the church. And if you need a place to have the children, let us know and we will make the appropriate accommodations to make that happen. So make sure if your group wants to get together, you let the office know so we can be prepared for that. But as we move into June and beyond, what does the plan look like? And honestly, we still have a lot of ambiguity, but we're at that time where it's time to start planning without necessarily having everything written in stone. So as we began to talk about, hey, how can we create a solution to moving forward, we thought we'd build in a plan for Wednesdays, at least to start from there. JT, can you tell us a little bit about what our plan is for Wednesday night?
Yeah, so in the meantime, as we kind of position back to being together, I think that for the last several months, if you kind of poll anyone, the thing that people miss the most is being with other humans. And as people have stopped by the office some this week, every time someone walks in the door, they go, people!
That's right.
And so we really want to just take some time as we loosen up some of these regulations to just be together. And so on Wednesday nights, as we come back together, we want to do what we're going to call Reconnect.
Yep.
And for several weeks, once we're able to be together, and we're going to start doing this if we have the clearance for 50% capacity, we're going to start meeting on Wednesday nights at 6 at Phelps Grove Park. And so and that's going to be a really low-key time. That's a time for whole families to come to hang out together. We're not doing a meal. You can bring food if you want to eat your food, but this is really just a time that's low pressure, just to spend time in fellowship and community together, and just to really have a good time with them.
The heart behind that was we don't want people to feel overwhelmed with a lot of jobs to do. We want people to feel like if they aren't ready to come back into church life and public life yet, that they're not missing out on anything. We didn't want to put pressure on a volunteer base to say, hey, we got to have you here to make this happen. So when we can be at 50% capacity within the four walls of the church, whenever that happens, we're going to start that for a handful of weeks as just a soft entry back into church life, for us to get used to being together on Wednesdays, and for us just to spend some time together without anybody having a job. And I know we're all excited about that. But that probably also leads into some other changes for our children's ministry. So what else is going on this go around?
So one of the changes that we decided on in order just to let us get back together and just spend time together was we did decide to cancel VBS for this year. I think it was a really hard decision for me, but we really talked about it and feel that this is the best way to get us just back together, enjoying time together, and not feeling like we have to work all the time right away.
Yep.
So that's one of the biggest changes for children's ministry this summer.
The other thing that is coming down the pike is when we go to 50% capacity, what's the plan? So there may or may not be some in between where we are now and when we can be at 50% capacity. And if there is, we'll make those adjustments if that happens. But we anticipate that when the city gives us clearance to be 50% capacity, that we will do 2 services on Sunday mornings. So we'll have more instructions to come, but we'll do a service at 8:40. Then we'll stop, dismiss, clean, sanitize the church, and then we'll have a second service at 10:40, and hopefully between those 2 services we can have the entire church body that wants to come be a part of that. But in that means no Sunday school or life groups, but we will still have childcare. Do you want to explain how the childcare is going to go?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, kids are not great at social distancing. So we wanted to come up with a way where we can best serve you guys as families, but still safely meet. So kids that are going into kindergarten and up are going to be in the service, and that frees up The pre-K, I will be leading pre-K, and they'll be in one room, and it'll be a smaller group. So that will really help with just the number of kids and being able to safely meet together.
And then we'll have the nursery will automatically be smaller by splitting into 2 groups. And what we want to do is have one crew that will be the 840 crew, and a different crew that will be the 1040 crew. That way we can still go to service and worship together. So that's one of the things we want to do, and we've got enough time in between to where we should be able to clean the nursery pretty good in between services. So our heart in this is we want to let you know that we have a plan to get back together while still doing our best to comply with the city, and also get back to worshiping in person. Now, we know we've been able to do this online. It's been great, but we're longing for the time when we can be back together again. So this is our plan when we get to 50% capacity. I am not sure what's going to happen between now and then. If this season extends, if they give us some other benchmark in between, we might make an adjustment. But we want to let you guys know that for now the plan is stay the course until we're at 50% capacity, and this is the plan when that happens. Is there anything we missed, guys?
Yeah, there's a few scheduling things that we want to talk about just for a second, just as we look at summer. And the good news is that camp is still a go for both children's ministry and for the student ministry. The difference is for student ministries, it's actually a different week. So our student ministry camp is going to be July 26th through July 31st. It's the same camp lineup, but the location canceled. So they took camp and they picked it up and they moved it to Talladega. So we'll be doing camp, and it's about 8.5, 9 hours away, and it's going to be great because it's the same camp. It's just a different week and different location.
And kids camp is the exact same for now, right?
Yeah, I checked just yesterday morning. Everything's the same location, same week. So I'll keep the parents posted if anything changes, but same.
All right. And also, hey, Clark, jump in here in the camera and give us a quick update on D Now.
Okay, so D Now, there's still plans to do it. I still really want to do it, but we're trying to figure out when we can. I'm hoping sometime early mid-June, but we're still waiting to see a few things, and as soon as we do find out, I'm going to put plans down and let everybody know as soon as possible.
All right, thanks for being flexible with the plan, as it's constantly changing on us, and so we just appreciate that flexibility. All right, thanks a lot, church.